Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I have a story time. We're past 4th of July. Unfortunately, I had a little bit of a fireworks incident, but knock on wood, it's been very minor incident. Could have been pretty bad. I could have lost my vision. I basically had a bottle rocket malfunction, and it basically shot all of its guts into my face and burned my eye, actually by my eyebrow. You can see a little bit of a scab and some stubble there because it burnt my eyebrow off. Luckily it's towards the side, it's not like, you know, right in the middle of the eyebrow. But anyway, I figured I'd tell you a little story here. So first off, I have to go back in the history of me and fireworks. I've loved fireworks my entire life. Ever since I was probably 8 or 9 years old, I was obsessed with fireworks. Back when I lived in New Jersey, I'd come up to visit, you know, in the Poconos and go to this flea market, the Pocono Flea Market. And every single time there was 2 stands that I had to visit. One was the knife guy. And I think I've talked about this before in the past, but you know, flea market knife stand, your typical, you know, $5 to $20 knives, you know, but I loved them. I couldn't get enough of knives. And the knife guy that was at the flea market was missing 1 or 2 fingers on his hand. I forget why. I think I asked him once, but and then I had a fireworks stand guy, and there was a couple of them, but there was the one that I liked in particular because his prices were always the best. They were most competitive. And the fireworks stand guy was also missing fingers on one of his hands. 2 completely unrelated things, and probably not a great sign to be buying knives from a guy missing fingers than a guy with fireworks missing fingers. But I'm pretty sure that their finger loss had nothing to do whatsoever with knives or fireworks. It's just coincidental. But of course, I remember I think it was my mom or dad, so that was a little odd. But anyway, so yeah, every time we visited Pennsylvania, I had to have fireworks and I had to have knives. Now, you know, of course, we had to sneak them. You know, like my parents are always a little iffy, especially when I was younger, about like bringing fireworks back because we weren't really supposed to be doing them in Jersey. But I never got, like, you know, huge fireworks. It was snakes and sparklers and some bottle rockets and maybe some, you know, firecrackers, things like that. Nothing like too crazy, a couple fountains. But anyway, every time I went up and visited, that was what I was focused on. You know, they had all kinds of stuff, clothes and candy and, you know, trinkets and knickknacks for the house. I mean, you name it. It's a big flea market. But knives and fireworks, that was my thing. So all through my teen years, I loved blowing off fireworks. Me and my friend Chris and other friends, we'd go way out in the back of the woods, bring a ton of fireworks, have some fun. At some point, you know, once I got a little older, you know, we started drinking and doing fireworks, which is never a good idea. And I think that's why a lot of people end up with some serious bad fireworks stories and some maimed bodies, because alcohol and fireworks do not mix. I will note that this little incident had nothing to do with alcohol. I haven't drank any alcohol in probably 2 years now. But anyway, so yeah, my whole youth, all through, you know, middle school and high school, that was the fun thing to do. Besides playing with knives, I'd go off in the woods with my friends and blow off fireworks. And I'm not talking about just 4th of July, all year round. I always had fireworks. I have a stack of fireworks books. At some point I started making homemade fireworks. I wasn't super successful with it. I was able to make some firecrackers and stuff. I was able to mix a couple different chemicals that I got online to make some different colors for fountains, but they were all very amateur, and half the time they never even worked. But it was fun. I was always the firework guy. So let's fast forward all the way to this past 4th of July. What I ended up doing was, because of my schedule and my family schedule and stuff, a lot of times we'll get together for, you know, the major holidays, but a lot of times it's not on the actual holiday. Obviously this year, 4th of July was on a Monday. We all got together on a Sunday and celebrated the Sunday before. As a lot of people do, they celebrate over the weekend because of work. So I was with my family, we were having a ton of fun. And by the way, as a side note, I brought a carnivore club that I didn't open because I was going to do a video with Vinny. A lot of people were asking to see more Vinny, and I told him about it, and we're both very excited, and he always wanted to try the carnivore club and stuff. He loves beef jerky and different meat snacks and stuff. And we totally forgot. We were doing all kinds of stuff. A lot of the holidays revolve around my niece and nephew. You know, they're the little kids in the family, so we always try to make sure they're having a good time, and then swimming in the little pool and things like that. So we lost track of time completely. I remember he was saying goodbye and stuff, and he's like, oh man, we didn't do that video, and he was super bummed. So I'm going to try to save a carnivore club in the future for him to do when we can get together again, because I know he's really excited about that. But anyway, so day's going great. And when I talk about fireworks, like in the last few years, you know, my sister will buy some fireworks for the kids, and I'll get some fireworks for the kids. But when I say fireworks, we're talking like really little stuff. Snakes, sparklers, maybe some fountains. Last year, I bought some Roman candles, you know, a couple little dinky things. I would say maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I went ham and spent like $600 on like actual cakes and repeaters and all, you know, the big 5 backyard fireworks, you know, that had mortars and things like that. But it's a lot of money. It's always a lot of money for fireworks. So I want to do that again. I purposely didn't have any plans to do any big fireworks this year, but I thought that maybe I'd buy them after the fact and, you know, get them on sale and build up a little collection and do it all at once, you know, and have a nice cool fireworks show in the backyard. But my sister is really, really good about taking the kids to all kinds of events, you know, like every time there's something going on, they always get to see a fireworks show. My sister and Vinny, they went with the kids this year, so they got to see the big fireworks. So it wasn't really a big deal that we didn't have them in the backyard. Plus, you know, neighbors, and they're always doing fireworks too. So anyway, the fireworks we had available this year, my sister bought some little things for the kids, you know, little poppers you throw and they snap. A couple smoke bombs, things like that. I had sparklers that I had purchased. I got Morning Glories, which you guys saw. I did a quick little video shooting those off. Well, not shooting them off, but just lighting them, letting them sparkle and do the thing. But I had bottle rockets from last year. I had a bunch of bottle rockets from last year. I probably had 3 or 4 boxes. Each one had maybe 200 or something in them. So what I ended up doing was I was shooting off some bottle rockets. And I had 2 different kinds. And the first pack that I opened, I should have known something was wrong. There was a couple that malfunctioned. And I have to say right now, if you're ever doing fireworks, first of all, wear goggles. That's the biggest point here, is wear goggles, buy fuse, do everything you possibly can to make sure that you're as safe as possible when shooting off fireworks. It was my mistake to not only, you know, see these malfunction and continue to shoot them off. That was a big mistake. Once they started having problems, I should have just nixed it, you know. I guess maybe it was me not wanting to waste money, or just, you know, wanting to have fun shooting them off. I don't know what it was, but in the future, if I ever have a firework malfunction, I will certainly just throw out the rest of them. That's a good idea. But yeah, you have to be safe. Now, when I first got glasses, all right, I said how much I hated wearing glasses. It was a weird transition. I don't like having to wear glasses. But I remember saying, at least there's some form of protection. And I have to say, since I've had glasses, there might have been a handful of times where something hit my glasses, and I realized, okay, well, at least it didn't hit my eye. It's like wearing safety goggles constantly, even though they're not the same, you know, they're not like as hard or anything like that, like safety goggles, but you know what I'm saying, right? It's just a little barrier. You go to grab something, like I had a cardboard box once, and I was, you know, cutting it up, and I spun it around, and the corner of the box hit me right in the glasses. And I thought, like, wow, that would hit me right in the eye. I have astigmatism in my left eye from when I was, you know, cleaning a Glock 17 magazine back in the day, and the floor plate slipped off. I should have wore goggles. You don't think like stuff like that, like you're cleaning your guns and you know, taking things apart, and there's springs and there's parts that could fly around. But you're not thinking you're going to get hit in the eye. No one ever thinks you're going to get hit in the eye until you get hit in the eye. And then you think, oh man, I should have wore some goggles or something. And I know most adults would probably think it's ridiculous to put on goggles to clean their magazines for their firearms. Or mundane things too around the house that might have a spring or something that might shoot in your eye. Anyway, long story short, so I was pulling the plate off, and it slipped, and the spring just shot up, and the follower caught me right in the cornea and scratched my cornea. It was probably one of the worst pains I've ever had, because it's hot and itchy, and you know, you're trying to, like, you close your eye and you rub your eyelid, but it just burns worse when you're itching it. It was horrible, absolutely horrible getting an eye injury. And I wore a patch for a while, and I probably did videos way back in the day. If you guys remember, you can let me know if I did videos on it. But anyway, so fast forward again to the bottle rocket. So I take them out of the pack, and I shoot the first bottle rocket off, goes without a hitch. Now these particular bottle rockets, they shoot up, it goes, and then there's a delay, and then it goes pop. That's it. Some bottle rockets whistle, sometimes they might have a little sparks that shoot out, whatever. This just shoots up and then pops. It's a firecracker with a little bit of tiny rocket that propels it up. That's what they do, in case you're not familiar. So first one goes without a hitch. Pop. Cool. Second one, pop. They're working fine. Having fun. Now the third one did not go and popped. It went all the way up, but nothing ever happened, never popped. Now this is normal. Bottle rockets are cheap firecrackers, cheap fireworks, especially when fireworks start getting older, they degrade and they're inconsistent. A lot of times what ends up happening is you light the fuse and it lights a little bit, then stops and goes out, or it lights all the way to the firecracker, then it goes out. A lot of times it's because when they're stored for longer periods of time, they get humid, the powder, the propellants, all the chemicals, they do weird things, right? And a lot of times they just don't work, they're duds. That's super common to have firecrackers or fireworks that are duds. Especially bottle rockets. So, and again, I've shot thousands of bottle rockets off in my time. Never had a problem before. So, you know, next one shoots up, goes off fine. The next one doesn't actually propel up. It doesn't go. The next one, and by the way, when I'm holding these, I'm extending my arm all the way out, up in the air, all right, and the next one just explodes. It doesn't go pop. It just fuse fizzle into the inside, and it just exploded. Now, when that exploded, I felt all the shrapnel, paper, and you know the wrapping of it and all that, just shower over my arm. And it didn't hurt or anything, but it was a little scary. I'm like, well, why did that just explode? It definitely should have shut off. But again, they're bottle rockets. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, they're tiny little fireworks. You know, it's not a huge concern. It's not like, shooting off mortars or repeaters or big firecracker, or big fireworks rather. So I wasn't all that concerned, but it was a little red flag. I'm like, that definitely shouldn't have happened. That's a little dangerous. Fire off the next one, goes off without a hitch. Fire off the next one, explodes. I remember there's two of them that just exploded. So at this point, I'm turning my head. Even telling the story, I'm like this, because now I don't want to explode in my face. Now, it still wouldn't be good if it hit me in the back of the head or anything, but I figure at least, let me protect my eyes, nose, mouth, things like that. So then the next one, and this was the doozy. So the next one, I turn my head, all right, it's like 90 degrees. I light it off, and it doesn't explode, and it doesn't shoot up. The guts of the firecracker just shot out towards me. It showered down my arm and into my face, and I felt something hit me in the forehead, or it felt like my forehead, and was starting to burn the hell out of my face. I immediately, this whole thing happened in literally a second or two. Light it off, I'm holding it, I'm waiting for it to go pop, but instead it just goes and shoots at, it feels like the whole firecracker shot at me, but really it was just like the guts of it pulled out of the back and shot towards my face. So as soon as it hit me, I felt it hit my forehead, I felt it hit my neck, my arm, and then I can see sparks in my eyes. It was sparking. So I grabbed my glasses and I threw my glasses off onto the ground and immediately started rubbing my face and make sure that any kind of debris, get off my face. It wouldn't burn me. At this point, it was already too late. So like a chunk of it, had embers burning, and it landed again on my eyebrow. It went underneath, and some of the sparks was on like the side of my nose and my glasses. So I ripped my glasses off real quick. Then I rubbed my whole face, and as I was rubbing, I feel it was hot in my hand too. So whatever it was, a chunk of it was burning on my face. And afterwards, I knew I was burnt. I knew I had some light burns, and I wasn't too concerned because it's not like I lost a finger or something, I'm saying? It's not like a major fireworks incident. I thought, oh, that was stupid, and I'm going to stop firing these off. These are obviously no good. But at that point, I pick up my glasses, and I see that there's black all over my glasses. I'm like, oh, no. So it was covered in soot and ash and dust and stuff like that. Here's the glasses. Obviously, I'm wearing the other pair. And unfortunately, it burned the plastic. So I was wiping them off, cleaning them. Might be hard to tell here. But glasses are plastic. They don't make glass lens, I don't believe, anymore, mostly because of the weight. They make glasses heavier. So all your glasses are plastic. And if it was glass, it might have wiped off a little easier, but because it's plastic, it burned. It burned and it melted. All right, right in the corner there. All right. It did get underneath, and it also got on top. I'm not sure how well you can even see it. But anyway, you have to trust me. So I went in the bathroom, I cleaned off my glasses, I wiped them down, and put them on, and I sighed real big because this burn mark is clearly in my vision, so they're garbage. I can't use these again. And these are the old frames. When I first got glasses, I got these frames, and then eventually we got a new prescription. I had new lenses put in, and a lot of times eye doctors, they will not use the same frames twice because it's a liability, because over time it gets little stress cracks, and they use a lot of pressure putting these lenses in. So they won't use old frames again, so these are unfortunately garbage. Now if you remember, I did a video on Zenni because they made really cheap glasses, and that's what I'm wearing right now, my backup pair. So, moral of the story is, first off, count your blessings when something bad happens, and it could have been worse. So again, knock on wood. Very happy that this was a minor incident. I did ruin expensive glasses. I mean, it's going to cost me hundreds of dollars to go get more. I have to go back to the eye doctor. Another thing, if you don't know, eye prescriptions expire. Kind of like regular medical, because it's a medical prescription. So like if you have a glasses prescription from 3 years ago and you want to just go get glasses, you can't. You have to get an exam again. It's a new prescription. All right, I'm sure that's on purpose for money, like everything else in the medical industry. It's all money, 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 money. But also, you know, your eyes are always degrading and changing and stuff, and sometimes they get a little bit better. So you're supposed to get an eye exam every year anyway. But long story short, I'm happy that it wasn't worse. And the glasses saved me. They saved me from possibly losing my vision. If whatever burning ball of fire that landed on my eyebrow, if I didn't have glasses and it landed in my eye, that definitely would have damaged my eye. I might have had partial blindness. I might have had full blindness. I have no idea. So I do feel extremely fortunate that it was not worse. It was a minor thing. And I'm here telling, not that you needed me to tell you, but fireworks can be dangerous. It doesn't have to be the giant mortars that blows people's hands off, or you know, M80s or anything like that. Sometimes it's the little stuff. Snakes and sparklers, right? People laugh at it. It's kiddie fireworks, right? No, it's not. It's extremely hot burning chemicals that can very much damage you, and you have to respect all fireworks and all firecrackers and stuff. Bottle rockets to me like nothing, little tiny things, right? But it almost cost me my vision. So I would recommend that if you guys do fireworks in the future, anytime, number one, don't drink and do fireworks. Again, this had nothing to do with drinking at all, but that's just something I have to point out, because that's what's most commonly causing problems around 4th of July is people get drunk and they do stupid things. Obviously, alcohol impairs your decision making. Maybe, you know, you're smoking a little bit, you want to do some fireworks. That's definitely going to, you know, change your reaction time. If something happens, you're not going to be moving as swift as you might be normally. You know, use your brain. So fireworks can be very dangerous, even these small ones. All right, so respect them. And as stupid as it sounds, probably a good idea to wear some eye protection if you don't already have prescription glasses. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my story. I figured to show you that. I don't know if I'll have a tiny little scar or not, but again, it's on the end of my eyebrow. It only burned off like a tiny bit, so I feel fortunate. It's not, you know, I don't have a whole eyebrow missing or something, but eyebrows grow back too. That's not the end of the world. But I thought I'd share the story with you. For me, you can't be cheap. If you have fireworks or firecrackers that are not functioning properly, immediately dispose the entire pack. I took the rest of those bottle rockets after the fact, and I soaked them in water, all right, for a while to make sure that they're completely ruined, and then threw them out. Okay, it's never worth it. You know, if, let's say you spend $5 on a pack of something and like they're not really working that great, but you don't want to like lose your money. Who cares? Lose your money. That's what I did. I'll still very much enjoy bottle rockets in the future, but I think what I'll do next time if I have some bottle rockets is I'll get like a PVC pipe and light them and, you know, mount it on the ground somehow on an angle. You know, obviously you want to shoot them in an appropriate direction, but just drop it down the tube and back up. I've always shot off bottle rockets literally in a bottle. That's why they're called bottle rockets. You put the stick in the bottle, you hold the bottle up away from you, and then phew, and they do their thing. You know, it's never been a problem. Thousands and thousands of bottle rockets I've shot off. No problems. But again, when something is not functioning properly, just leave it be. The fireworks that, you know, the fuse burns down to a tiny bit, and you're like, oh man, I'll just light the tiny bit. You probably shouldn't. I'll tell you, I think I've told this story before, but the stupidest thing I've ever done that probably could have cost me maybe even my life. I was with my friend Chris. We were back in the woods, and we had some M80s, and they were fun. All right, if you never had a legit M80, they're fun. I mean, when they go off in front of you, you know, not too far, you feel that in your stomach and your chest. It's a big, exciting experience, right? Especially being a teenage boy, we do all kinds of dumb stuff. But so we had some M80s, and it was one of our last ones, and I lit the fuse. So what I usually do is I'll have my arm bent like this, so I'll light the you know, away from my face. I'm not like this. I'm just showing it because of the camera. But I'll light it and then throw it. Okay, instead of lighting it here, then reaching back and throwing it, because that's all extra time that the fuse is burning, right? So anyway, so we did M80, and the fuse was like this long, right? And it burned down maybe to a quarter of the fuse. It was a tiny little piece, and it stopped. Now immediately Chris was like, "Oh man, that's a dud." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? There's still fuse left." It's like, you can't light that. It's too short. So I said, "Hear me out, man. I'm gonna hold it back here." And again, my arm was fully extended. I'm gonna hold it back here. You light it and you yell when it's lit, and I will throw it as fast as I can. I will just chuck it, and so that we have plenty of time for it to get away. So he agrees, right? Because we're dumb young kids. And so I have my arm back. I literally have my eyes closed. He goes, "It's lit." As soon as he says it's lit, I must have thrown. I could have thrown a 90-mile-an-hour professional pitch. Okay, I went, whew. And that thing exploded about 2 or 3 feet in front of us. And I swear to God, we looked at each other and we went, "Holy S," you know, and we left. That's it. We took the rest of the fireworks because we weren't done. We had other stuff that we were going to blow up. We packed it up. We didn't even say anything to each other. I'm just like, I think I just looked at him, and then I went down. I just started putting everything back in our bag that we had, our little backpack, whatever, and just we left. We went back to the house. I don't remember even really talking about it much because we were both really, really scared and really, really like, wow, that was close. That was really close and really, really dumb. So I'm sure we, you know, laughed about it later when we were high. But anyway. So yeah, I got very lucky. And not to mention too, we were, you know, in the woods of Jersey. There was bear all the time all around us. I mean, drinking or smoking some weed or something like that, doing fireworks. Definitely not good combinations. I mean, something as simple as like we'd climb up, you know, rock formations, go up into the little bit of a side of a mountain and stuff. We could have fell, broke a leg, you know, again, had an interaction with a wildcat or a bear or some other animal or something. I did some dumb stuff, and I feel like I've been really, really lucky. Nothing major has ever happened to me negatively like that, or my friend, or any of my friends that I've ever done stuff like that with. But specifically with fireworks, I've gotten away with so many sketchy things like that, you know, and just never got burned, so to speak, and now I did. So my mistake personally was seeing that these were malfunctioning and continuing to fire them off because there was nothing else that I had to, you know, to light. So I figured, oh, you know, a couple of them are duds. No. I've learned a lesson. No matter what, and even though I have glasses, if I do some bigger fireworks, I'll probably end up putting on some goggles over my glasses just in case as well, because I don't want to ruin my glasses now either. But yeah, and obviously, you know, fuse is a great idea too. When you have bigger fireworks, you could buy fuse. All right, all different places have fuse, and just, you know, twist it up and tie it up to the fuse so you have a longer fuse so you can get away from things. You know, you just don't want to be that person on the news, okay, with the hamburger hand. All right. So I posted pictures on Instagram and Facebook when it first happened. It was just red, you know, but obviously it's just scabbed up now. It doesn't hurt anymore or anything. It's just, like I said, it's a minor burn. It's not that big of a deal, but it could have been a huge deal if it was in my eye. That's the whole point. And it cost me money, which always sucks. No one wants to waste money, you know, ruining things for stupid ideas. So it was a normal thing to light the fireworks. It was just abnormal to keep using them even though they were malfunctioning. But yeah, that's my story. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. It's getting windy out here. It was beautiful when I came out. Sun was shining and birds were chirping. They're still chirping. And now it looks like it's going to rain. All right, so that's it for me. Thanks so much for watching. Eventually I will go and get a different pair of glasses. I don't mind the clear glasses. That's why I got them from Zenny. They are, like I said, a lot cheaper. I do like them a lot, but these have to be adjusted. They're too loose on my head. But I do like a darker pair, so eventually I'll get another prescription and probably buy maybe another clear pair similar to this, and then also a dark frame pair. But that's it. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Be safe out there all the time, not just 4th of July. And that's all. I'll tell you before I go real quick, driving home, there was a lot of drunks on the road. A lot of drunks. I was in a construction zone at some point. All right, 1-lane construction zone. There was a truck behind me, and I'm always looking around when I'm driving, and I saw that there was a guy in a white Lexus that drove past. Okay, he cut off the truck that was behind me in a 1-lane, like he was in the shoulder, almost rubbing on the thing, and he's behind, and he's trying to pass me. Insane. He had to have been drunk, and he's weaving in and out, and he came so close to the barrier and so close to the wall, and eventually it opened up, and I just let him pass me, and he flew past. But I witnessed some bad driving, and I can almost guarantee a lot of those people were drunk. Please do not drink and drive. I can't stress that enough. What happens is some people are just alcoholics and they drink and drive, period. Some people are total jerk-offs and they just choose to drive drunk anyway, not realizing they're putting everyone's life in danger around them. Of course, it's getting loud now, windy. But I think what happens sometimes too is there's really great people that don't mean to drink and drive, but they go somewhere, they drink just a little bit more than they thought they were going to drink, or maybe they weren't going to drink and now they are just a little bit. Oh, it's okay, I'll have 1 beer, I'll have 1 glass of wine, I'll just take a shot. And now all of a sudden you caught a buzz, and you're buzzing a little bit, and no one's there to drive you home, and you think, okay, I'm just gonna really pay attention. Just don't do that. I know it's extremely inconvenient to have to try to find a designated driver. It's extremely inconvenient to have to stay somewhere overnight because you got too drunk and you can't find anyone to drive you home. Just please do it, because it's not about you. It's never about you. It's never about your thinking you have the ability to drive safely. It has nothing to do with money or tickets or DUIs. It has to do with all the lives around you. All right, and a lot of times when these drunk drivers hit people, they kill kids and moms and dads and brothers and aunts and uncles and grandmas, and they're fine. They're usually fine. A lot of times it's because when they get into an accident, they're all limp and just like a friggin' rag doll. Just don't drink and drive. Don't do drugs and drive. I just really want to get that message out, because people, like I said, I mean, obviously you hear it all the time, but I just want to say it, just to say it. If it reaches one person out there, please just be safe. Again, it's not just for you. It's for everyone else you're sharing the road with. All right? I definitely saw a lot of drinking and driving over the weekend. All right? And on the 4th as well. So it's just really unfortunate. You got to stay away from stuff like that. And obviously, if you're just driving in general, try to avoid the roads. When you know the drinking, like New Year's Eve, I'd say from 5 p.m. until 5 a.m. If you don't have to drive, stay off the road. There's a lot of drunks driving around. 4th of July, Memorial Day weekend, all those drinking holidays, just stay off the road if you can help it, okay, to avoid a situation like that. Anyway, that's it. The wind picked up again. So if you're wondering, carrying my Spyderco today. People always asking about the neck knife. What neck knife you wearing? One of them. I got lots of them, but today's the Spyderco. So that's all. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.